welcome to Almost News with Just a Missing. I am Just a Missing, and I'm a puppet, so well done, you're watching a puppet show. We need to talk, South Africa. No, not about the fact that Tony Ngeni is 64 years old and shows absolutely no sign of aging. I mean, no 64-year-old should look like that. But either you're a vampire or corruption is really good for the skin, Tony. One thing is certain, Blade Nzimande is definitely not a vampire. My God, Bra Tony's 5 years older than Blade, and Blade looks like he's his own freaking grandpa. Sorry, Blade, the writers really went all in. But you look like Benjamin Button Stage 1. Boom, like a topical map of KZN. Boom, I can't stop. The elections are coming. So tonight, we're going to be talking about the biggest issue out there. Land.
Through an accelerated program of land reform,
we want productive land.
They want a piece of land.
Land.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
I'm still to see a white person who supports expropriation of land without compensation.
Just wait, Juju, just wait. White people love expropriation without compensation. These guys literally invented it, and then this guy perfected it. And why do you think white people get so upset when black people expropriate land? Because that was our idea. Taking land. For white people, black people taking land is cultural appropriation. It's our heritage, man. Julius is like the Eminem of land, the Johnny Clegg of real estate. It's very annoying. South Africa is the most unequal society on earth. Land is part of how black people have been economically excluded because land is a way to create wealth, to pass on wealth, and to do this. You can only move like that if you have land. Land! It gave white people wealth and Irish dancing. White people had a 350-year head start on capitalism because we excluded black people at gunpoint. We cheated. We played capitalism like Australians play cricket. Yes, we're not better at wealth than black people. We just tampered with our balls. And in South Africa, right now, there is no bigger ball tamperer than this guy.
Thank you very much for taking some time off your hectic campaign to promote racism and white supremacy in South Africa.
That's Ernst. He works for AfriForum, which is basically LinkedIn for racists. I mean, the more scared white people are of black people, the more Ernst earns. Literally, racism is to Ernst what crime is to ADT. I'm pretty sure he gets paid to say the K word. Listen, this idea that land wasn't stolen is insane. It's totally insane. We used wars and guns. If you use a gun to do your shopping, it's not shopping. It's not shopping. It's stealing. What the hell? Come on, you can't discover a place where people are already living.
When Jan van Riebeeck landed in the Western Cape, our problems began. It's a historic fact.
Wow! Wow! That was the last documented moment of Jacob Zuma having the moral high ground. But seriously, colonialism dragged people out of their homes, made laws excluding people. It left 73% of this country with just 8% of the land. White people excluded black people like they were flip-flops at Oscar Pistorius's house. The ANC is changing the constitution to speed things up because it's taken too damn long.
These Mpumalanga residents can finally call themselves landowners. The community first lodged a land claim in 1998. After years of negotiations, government has paid R1 billion for its return to the people.
Forcing people off land and then selling it back to them for $1 billion. As I've said before, that's like benefiting from apartheid twice. And as the white puppet with a TV show, that's literally my career plan. But finally, we can fix the Constitution.
The way Section 25 is written now does make provision for expropriation. And so what we need to look at, we don't need to change the Constitution.
Holy cow! Taking land has been constitutional this entire time, and Cyril knows it. He isn't just holding the Constitution, he wrote the damn thing. He's the J.K. Rowling of our Constitution. I mean, 24 years later, now you're getting to it? Now you've been procrastinating almost as long as Nelson Mandela was in jail. Climate change is literally faster. The land will be covered in ocean before Cyril gives you some. So South Africa, learn how to swim, because you're going to have to be Aquaman to enjoy your land.
we want to start off with land that is owned by our various entities. Local government owns large tracts of land in the urban areas, and we believe that and want that land to be released.
Okay, he wants to give out government land. Well, that sounds like the kind of plan someone who owns 32 houses would come up with. That's 32 houses, really? That's all the important buildings in Venda. Monopoly, man. He pays his taxes in avocados. The budget for land reform in South Africa was 2.7 billion a year. 2.7 billion. The budget for VIP protection is 2.9 billion. Yes, our leaders spend more money keeping the poor away from them than they do trying to help the poor. That's crazy. We pay for our politicians' accommodation. We pay for it. They need land reform like fish need jackets. The only reason land is an issue now is because the ANC saw their arse in the last election. It's a break glass in case of emergency situation. Guys, they do this in every elections. Are we going to fall for it again? Huh? Are we going to just fall for it? Everyone is promising land. All of them. We're Tienes Kraus, and the land is Kanye Mbao.
Who are you going to give the land to?
Expropriation without compensation is a very powerful tool and threat in the hands of any government.
Expropriation without compensation has become the most catchy phrase in South African politics. It's the idibala for off people. We're 5 seconds away from having an expropriation burger at McDonald's. It comes with a shake, a shabir shake. They care more about who came up with the idea of giving back the land than actually giving back the land. Politicians want intellectual property, not actual property. Now, while the ANC have been dragging their feet, morons like this have hijacked the conversation.
There is hysteria because people are targeted. People's private property is being targeted.
I have asked Secretary of State Pompeo to closely study the South Africa land and farm seizures and expropriations and the large-scale killings of farmers.
Why is the Prince of Naartjies talking about land expropriation in South Africa? Does he even know where we are? It's below Namibia on the border of Wakanda. Listen, this is a global conversation. The West is terrified of restitution. It's like if they're not careful, Britain will be paying loyalties on Indian tonic water. Australia and the Americas will be paying 300 years of backdated rent. And the Queen will have to give back our diamonds. I mean, she's literally wearing our land in a freaking hat. It's ludicrous. South Africa, we mustn't just take back the land. We must take back the conversation. Wow, I feel so woke right now. See you after the break.